Hey everybody, it's Monday, and you know what that means. Yes, I'm gonna steal that line from them because AEW is just like perfect. Y'all know I love it. So it is Monday, and you know what that means. It's Toy Chats with your boy Dre, King Bob, and Smitty Rock to my flanks. And guess what? We have the amazing, the awesome Priscilla Arte. Bienvenidos. So, Miss, I know that I'm not the only one. I would gladly say that all three of us are extremely happy to have you on the show today. And I mean, for starters, like, what besides welcome, what got you into this? Like, what started the Priscilla Arte train?
Gosh, I mean, like I was 5 years old and I was drawing and I didn't know that I could draw. And my mom was like walking around showing everybody, look at what she did. And after that, it was like, oh gosh, okay, let's keep going. So, I mean, I started when I was little and I was on and off. And a lot of it was when I was grounded as a kid. I'd get stuck in my room in trouble. And
That's
growing up in a Latino
me.
household. Oh, you too? Yeah, see? Being in a Latino household with them being strict all the time, you know, I had a lot of time to myself. So I would just
Oh
draw
yeah.
and yeah. And so it didn't really ramp up until like about 3 years ago and really, really ramped up with the pandemic. Yeah. So that's where I got
Of
into the
course.
designer toys.
So, like, were you on the con circuit, like doing, I guess, like getting like an artist alley table, just doing drawings, or like what like got you into like doing the toys and then
Yeah.
moving into
Yeah.
things?
No, I didn't even know that this whole world existed. I didn't know about any of you guys until the
Oh,
pandemic hit. Yeah. So, like 2019, I discovered a couple of designer toy artists, and I was like, this looks amazing. I would love to combine because I was doing polymer stuff, I was doing other mediums, I was doing canvas work, but it was just within the household with my kids or, for work activities. It was always just kind of like a side fun thing. I never really thought beyond that. And then when I discovered designer toys, it was just addicted. And then I didn't know about cons. I didn't know about anything. So I actually attended Designer Con
oh
last
yeah,
year.
decon, yeah.
Yes, that was my first exposure to the whole world. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I need more.
I trust me. I looked it up because I'm not even into this world as deep as Smitty and as deeper as Bob has gone. Like my toe is dipped in the puddle, like to test the water.
Oh
Uh-huh.
These
no,
two
no,
are swimming around. There are sharks in the water. They're swimming
I'm
with
right here.
You're right
I'm
there.
almost, I'm almost,
us.
I'm almost
So,
drowning. We're
Almost.
getting there.
and I mean, it's amazing the stuff that I see that like a lot of these people do, and then like just through meeting Alex, it is networked into you. Like I will never forget Smitty. My first time coming on Booze and Buddies, and they put your piece up, and I was like, "We're getting her on the show. I'm gonna buy a piece from her." And then when I had heard your story, I was like, "Oh, even more so! Like she's this like Spanish mom that's got like a lot of stuff coming on her life, and that like she does this like really hard stuff." I was like, "Okay, let's go. Bet I'm gonna spend some money." And man, when he was like, "You got it on the first try," he's like, "You know how hard this is for me," and I was like, "Sorry, not sorry." It is what it is. But yeah, like it's like your artwork has definitely resonated with a lot of just with the three of us as well as my daughter. So I mean, what inspired that character? Like, what got that character concept going?
For which, the burrito or for the octopug, or which
The
one?
Octopug.
The octopug.
Yeah.
Yes. So, oh, that's the one that you got. That was the pink glitter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and see, you got the blue one. Um, so with the octopug, I was looking for something cute. I wanted to aim for because I've got burrito already. I don't know if you guys have seen him, the piñata.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like I kind of wanted to go something that would be more cutesy, that I could customize and that I could focus on double casting because that's the goal with Octopug. And so originally it was an Octocat, but I couldn't make the ears work and the face alone. People were like, it's a pug. And I'm like, okay, it's a pug. So he just morphed into an Octopug. And so I'm still working. I was looking for him yesterday. I've got this guy. This is the goal. He's the bigger
Oh,
version.
nice.
I'm trying to figure out my
Nice.
camera. Where is it? Sorry, it's
No, we
moving.
see it. That looks dope.
Yeah. So um and this was my first digital sculpt that I had printed. So sorry, I can't figure out my camera.
No, it's good. We got it in full sight. That looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So, but yeah, that was kind of the direction. I don't really have a world developed yet. It's like you've got the piñata in the air, you've got the octopug in the ocean. So just kind of
Now
covering
you gotta
all
get a
grounds.
land.
Yep.
You gotta get a land. Oh, look at you. You got it covered. You
Yeah.
definitely got it covered. The piñata I love because that sticker that came with Octopug, and that's on the back of my laptop, and that's like one of my favorite things that I like visually. The colors on it just jump out at me, and I was like, man, this is beautiful. I have to put it on my laptop.
Oh,
and then I was like, then I saw Smitty had gotten some more stickers from you, and I was like, oh, there's more. I need these. They look so awesome. And of course, I got jealous when he got jealous. So it works. You know, it's kind of a tete-a-tete.
Hey.
So
I should preface that. I mean, all right. This was the first Priscilla piece I was able to get my hands on. And this was awesome. It's a cosmic dunny. Got it off of Booze and Buddies. But this got me hooked. I'd probably tried for 6 months to get one of her drops. And every time she put stuff up, I mean, it was selling like that. I mean, if you weren't right there, and even if you were, you might not get the piece you wanted. And by the time you found out you didn't get that piece, all the other ones were sold too. So there wasn't even a chance to go after your second or third option with the drop she had. So yes, I had to go and reach out to her and have her do a custom for me to get a second piece. Which
who on that?
Well, yes, you guys have seen it multiple times.
I had to contact her. Woe is me.
You know,
that piece is
she did this beautiful piece.
You get no sympathy from me, Smitty.
Oh, I'm not asking for your sympathy.
Look at the rivalry. Look at this rivalry
that preferences Dre's getting a piece first time he tries.
Yeah.
Because I literally was like, I had to end up reaching out, and then I had also, this is one of her pieces from Decon.
Yeah, that's dope too.
So this is
again the colors that your colors just
resin
pop.
Rookie, a custom of a resin Rookie piece.
Yeah, thank you. I know I'm always like, I'm so sorry. And then I think with one of the first drops, I learned that I need to like recalibrate the site to make it easier to get to the second or third piece. So I'm hoping with future drops, I can make it a little bit easier. But yeah,
I mean, your early drops too were very, very limited. So I mean, it was, if you didn't get it right away, I mean, there were only like 5 pieces out, or
yeah.
So it was challenging, but it was good.
Yeah,
Smitty, I'm gonna make you spearhead this. Go ahead. You're gonna ask some questions. What do you have on your mind for Priscilla? You are such a huge proponent that is well known within this community, which we always say this. I want you to be the one to spearhead this. I want to sit back and I want to see you talk.
That is code for I have nothing else for you.
I got more. Please. Excuse me. Do I not have a lot to ask? I have tons of questions for her. I wanted to pick his brain because I know he always has got something. Smitty is a huge fan of your work, and I have become a fan of your work. And I want out of respect, I feel like I know I have a very big personality and I talk a whole lot. And I don't want to ever overshadow my 2 brothers over here. So that's why I felt like let him get a chance to kind of interview you too. Like let him say, hey, I like Priscilla. Hey, Priscilla, this is what I like that you do. What, like, do I have any other questions? Go ahead, Smitty.
Oh, I mean, one of the, like I said, I had to get this because this was, how do I want to say, her original, she was known for the black and white, the check, the geometric shapes. And then, so I had to get one of these just to get one of those kind of designs. And I mean, when I was first trying to get a piece, I mean, oh, the one drop you had, I know you had a tech, and there were like 4 other, and it was like one of each of these, and they were all in the different geographics, and I was like, oh my god, these are so cool. I have and I didn't get any one of them. And then, and then I was looking through a lot of your work, and it was really crazy cool. And then you started getting invited to some of the custom shows, and and then you've been killing it, this whole past year. I mean, like I said, I was able to get this off of Decon, but I mean, her table at Decon, you had what, like 90 pieces almost, something like that. I mean,
130.
It was even more than.
I ended up counting them. Yeah,
she was a machine going into Decon. Yeah. It was like, I was like, holy cow, she's got all this, and I can't even get out there.
Yeah, it's like, well, I was at the table with Red Guardian and Gory, so it's like, of course, I have to bring my A game, and then on top of it, it's like I never know what direction to go. I'm always all over the map, and that's why you'll see a lot of colors, you'll see a lot of textures, you'll see, just extra everywhere. Like, I'm going to show you guys a piece that I have for clutter that I'm going to be sending off in a little bit.
Oh, a chomp.
Nice. Yeah, a chomp. Actually, you can't see the pink though. Let me see if I could.
Oh, wow.
And it's but it's like I never know when to stop. So I just keep adding and adding and adding. And so that's where I, like with Decon,
it looks like you could touch it. Like, honestly, like you look like you could touch the hair, which is such a great,
that's awesome.
Because like the visual to my eye, as like we always call you guys artists because that's what exactly you are. So when I look at that chomp, it's like I feel like I'm like I could go rub my hand through that fur, like
the fur. Oh, good, yeah.
Like that, like the visual. It looks so nice. Like, man.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's each project. It's kind of like, what can I do different? What can I add to it? And I admire when people can stick to an aesthetic. They've established it and they just can execute on every single piece. And for me, I can't. I don't know that I've found that place where I'm okay with just staying there. So I'll just keep experimenting and trying different colors and trying different things. And I always like to incorporate my Chicano roots too. So it's like, this is definitely not Chicano. So it's like, so I'm all over the map.
Yeah, that's dope. I guess one of my questions before Smitty continues would be, and this is more of a cultural thing. Mm-hmm. How has your Chicano roots influenced your art in that sense? Because I know for a lot of us Hispanics that grew up either here in the States or actually, like I grew up here in the States, mm-hmm. but I know some people that grew up in Mexico, Puerto Rico, South America, mm-hmm. And they were exposed to a lot of Japanese anime culture, cartoon culture, because it was on television very prevalent, mm-hmm. While they were kids. Did that have any, like kind of a two-part question? Like, how is your artwork affected by being Chicano in a good way? And how is it, like, does that anime cartoonish influence ever show in your work?
So anime, I actually, I had relatives when I was younger that were into it. I wasn't. I didn't really watch any of it. I didn't have a lot of like pop culture exposure as a kid because my parents were pretty strict. And so it's like whenever I would go to my cousins, it's like, oh, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch something girly, and it was always just like Blossom or, it was just random, not related to any of that. And so for me, I didn't really have any anime exposure until adulthood. My kids are the ones teaching me. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Wait, you're watching it without me. So like now I'm excited about it. But growing up, I didn't. So none of that is really, well, I take that back. I think maybe when I started to discover the designer toys, that's when I started to discover kawaii. So still adulthood, but that's kind of where I started to incorporate it into my work. And that's where I do a lot of the big, bright, colorful eyes. And so I still stick with like a pastel kind of colorway when I do incorporate kawaii. But before that, it wasn't really a lot of that. And so with the designer toys, when I started, I also wasn't incorporating the Chicano. So I think as I've found myself, it's like, okay, how can I incorporate me into the pieces more? And so that's where I've started to use more of that. So like even with the creatives trading cards, you know, I got invited and it was like, great, what do I do? What am I supposed to, you know? And it's like so many artists that have their aesthetic established, they have their characters established. I'm still like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And so that's where it was like, okay, well, let's dial it back and let's, you know, look within. And that's where it was like, okay, I've got my San Jose Sharks, which is, you know, I'm from San Jose, it's everywhere. And so I just went with what I know, you know, for my concepts. So I feel like, wait, did I even answer both questions?
Yeah, you
Maybe
100% you did. Because I like
I'm all
because
over.
in my head, oh no, in my head it's like I love it because I know that I did not have like Saint Seiya, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball. Like those things came to me when I was in my late teens. I'm 43, so for me in my late teen years,
Mhm.
early adulthood that's when I started getting influenced by it. So like my daughter, who's now going to be 13,
Mhm.
she's into it. My son, who's going to be 17 this year, he's heavily into it. Like both of
Mhm.
them, even though they don't live together, it's like they're wildly into like anime. And
Yeah.
like that's like Lana's art style. Like she draws like a very anime manga style.
Mhm.
And you know, I'm like, okay, and I know that a lot of Hispanic artists have kind of almost adapted that like on the comic book front.
Mhm.
So that's why I was curious to see like, you know, if that had any influence from a culture standpoint. You know,
Mhm.
and like you said, you do kawaii, and I'm assuming like that's also tied into like Harajuku and like all that kind of style out of
Yep.
Japan. And then
Mhm.
as part of like your Chicano roots, like I would assume like the piñata, you know, like the pulpo, you know, like in
Yeah.
like the little octopus, you know, and it's like I'm like, ooh, like that's such a cool concept,
Yeah.
you know, and it's okay to be all over the place because I think that culturally, as Hispanics that live in America, we
Mhm.
are a melting pot of American culture, other cultures that influence us, as well as our Hispanic roots, wherever we're from.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
think that that's kind of cool that you could have like I could say like put a piñata, like put a sombrero, you know, on the octopug, and that, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, people could say like, oh yeah, it looks corny. No, that could be like it's a symbol of my culture, of who I am,
Yeah.
you know. So I think that that's cool, and I think that that's, and you definitely, like I said, 100% answered both questions. So
I like
Smitty,
how
I'm
you
sorry.
put that though. Oh, just to
No,
elaborate.
no,
Yeah, because I didn't think
yeah, go
about
ahead.
that. It is it as a Chicano, it's like you have to, like, I think about how Selena was like, it's tough being, you know, Mexican American. You've got to be this and you got to be that. So I feel like the same thing. It's like I'm all over the place because I have so much that I can connect with. And I think about
Oh yeah,
that.
same with me. I'm the same way. Like I'm Puerto Rican, Nigerian, and Persian, right?
Mhm.
But for me, like I identify mostly as Hispanic because that's like my family grew up. But like people hear my name Saunders, they're like, you're not like a Rodriguez, a Castro, a Sanchez. Like like you don't look like who you are. And I definitely don't speak with it. I definitely have a gringo accent when I speak. People know
Mhm.
that, and I've lived with it my whole life. But I think it's as I have kids of my own, and Smitty and I've talked about this, Bob and I've talked about this. I feel like I've identified more with my culture,
Mhm.
and I want them to be more involved in it. I feel like don't let other things like wash away your identity, because I know I grew up in a time where, and a place in, even though I was in New York, I grew up where I was like one of 3 kids that were Hispanic in my whole school. And
Mm.
it definitely set me apart, like to be different, even though I felt I was the same.
Mhm.
And it's like I had to adapt my culture like to be something that could fit in. Like people come to my house, you're not going to have a hamburger and fries or pasta, you're going to eat rice and beans.
Mhm.
And some of my friends were like, what's that, that looks weird, you know. And I'm like, come to my house now, I cook and I make
Yeah.
rice and beans, and people are like, oh shit, I love it. It's, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's such a different, how 20 some odd years has affected people's mentality, you know.
Mhm.
And it's definitely like for me, I'm more sensitive to it. Like these guys know I love Miles Morales, and I was like, man, this guy's it's me. Like you're the perfect mix of black and Puerto Rican, and you're Spider-Man. Like you
Yeah.
represent who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that that's awesome that we see that representation more and more. And as a
Exactly.
woman, I guess let's lead this into what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
which you and I talked about this briefly the other day, which is the
Mhm.
main question I wanted to have you answer, because I felt like this is your chance to really take center stage.
Mm-hmm.
Being a woman of color,
Mm-hmm.
a Latina that is, I'm not going to call you a Latinx because I'm sorry. I understand that that's like the PC term. You're a
Mhm.
Latina. I'm a Latino. That's how it
Mhm.
works.
Mhm.
The being of a Latina descent and, you know, like a Chicana and having to grow up, how has it been being a woman in this field? Being a woman in what I can, just from what I see, seems to be very male dominated. How
Oh,
does it feel to
absolutely.
be, how does that feel for you? And how have you have gone above it and gone head and shoulders above it? Because I could tell you now, you definitely stand out. And I want to just
Thank
say,
you.
like, I see that you stand out. So I want to know how you felt when you first came in, and how that's kind of how have you like grown past it?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it, but I don't think I really prepared for it.
I know, yeah, you and I, just so you guys know, watching the show, Priscilla and I had this conversation at least twice.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last week, and we talked about it about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Where I told her, I said, I have 2 little girls. I said, I love them both. And I said, your art is something that I want to be able to like use as a platform for them to see that women are more empowered. And even if you
Exactly.
are a minority, you don't have to feel like that suddenly that wall stops you. Break
Mhm.
through it like the Kool-Aid man. And
Yeah.
I want to hear your story. This is why I want to hear how you have risen above it and
Yeah.
made your mark.
I feel like yeah, growing up it's always been well, I guess maybe it's in my nature. I feel like you know, anytime that there has been any kind of an obstacle or anytime that it has appeared like, well, like you said, it's male dominated, right? You see
Mm-hmm.
more men in the scene, more, you know, of them producing the work and in the shows, and because it's so prevalent, I never really questioned my place. It was just, how much do I want it? And even growing up, like, this is something that I've always done. I always felt like, you know how they talk about imposter syndrome? I don't know what the opposite of
Yes.
that is, but I was an imposter thinking that I could do something when I couldn't. You know, as a kid, my mom did hair, and so I'd be in the salon, and I'm also a licensed stylist now, but back then, you know, I'd see her doing this, and I'm like, I could do that. And so I would go and do fades and end up with 0 across the whole head because I screwed them up and they wanted a 4, you know. And it's like, I got you, you know. And so I would always have this sense of I can do it. And I don't know, I don't really know where that came from, apart from just growing up and doing whatever. Well, actually, no, now that I think about it, sorry guys, I'm thinking through it. My
Don't worry.
cousins, I grew up with boys. And so maybe that, I feel like that had a huge part of it too, because they're out there and I'm like, yeah, me too, I got it. And so I'd always be trying to keep up with my cousins. And I never really thought about it beyond that. And so it's like, anytime I was put in an environment and I kind of could figure out the way that things work, I kind of understand it, it's like, okay, I got this. And so I would just trial and error and just keep pushing through it. And so, like, even when I started in 2019 in this world, I wasn't being invited. Like Smitty said, I was asking, hey, can I be in? Hey, can I be in? And so I was bugging everybody. I was like, hey, it's me again. Any room this time? And that's all I kept doing, is just, I'm here again. I want to be part of this. And so just pushing through that and not really listening to anything, you know, maybe I'm not meant to be. No. I'm not going to listen to any of those thoughts. I'm not going to, this is what I want. This is where I'm going. And that's kind of how I've always been. It's like, okay, that's what I want. That's what I'm going for. So I feel like maybe that aggressive nature is what's gotten me this far, you know?
That's awesome.
I would
Yeah.
say it's funny you say that, because especially growing up with your cousins, I think that also, how do I say, I see how you interact with a lot of the different both artists, but like other streamers
Mhm.
and stuff. And you know, I mean, I was talking with Yessie about, you know, you guys are doing the new stream on Sundays,
Mhm.
you know, the brunch stream, which is great. But you know, I mean, I've seen how you are with like the guys from Dirty Deeds, you
Mhm.
know, and and they're fun and stuff, but I mean, they can, you know, things can get a little crazy in their stream too.
Mhm.
And I mean, and you just roll with it and you just, you say, hey, up, it's this,
Yeah.
it's that, you put I mean, you just slap them right in this place and, which is fun. I mean, and I mean, yeah, I mean, you just have that personality that, you know, it's fun, you know, and you can handle yourself with those other guys. You aren't intimidated by any of them. I mean, for me, I mean, I caught a lot of like, I mean, I know you've done a ton of like just creative streams with like Fetch and Red and stuff where you're just hanging out while you're doing artwork. I mean,
Mhm.
and I found those to be very cool because it was like, oh, it's just a conversation. It's,
Mhm.
you're throwing ideas back and forth. And it was, kind of educational, but it was also cool because you were interacting with both the stream and the chat and, each other and, while you were doing the work. So for me, that was kind of interesting, which is where I ended up getting a better appreciation for you as an artist and how much work you were putting into each of the pieces.
And that when
Yeah.
he told me that story, because that's what inspired me with you
Mhm.
to want to get to know you, because Smitty, like I said, he is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to the designer toy community. And when
Not really.
Yeah, you
oh,
are. Yeah, you are.
exactly, you full of shit, bro. I love you. I'm gonna tell you like this, you full of shit.
Yeah.
And
What he said.
exactly. See, she ain't gonna say, I'll say it. she's thinking it, she thinks it, and I'm just saying it. And when he had told me about you and what like everything about like that, and it's like, and then I looked at your obviously, like I do a little research myself. I was like, man, this is a person I want to get to know, because as an artist, you guys have a story you're telling.
Mhm.
And that comes like, if you think of it, like any famous artist like Van Gogh, or Michelangelo, or, just even when it comes to just toys, when you look at like yourself, Playful Gorilla Alex, and like I get to talk to, and I've gotten to hear Alex's story, and
Mhm.
like it bonded me and him. Like now he and I are friends. Ghosty and I have bonded. We are friends.
Yeah.
It's like when I hear those things, it makes me feel a kinship to you and a kinship to what you're doing, because now your piece carries way more weight to me personally because of the
Yeah.
time, effort, and what it means that you put behind it. So that's why when like I said, when Smitty opened his mouth and said that, it was just like, I'm sold. So Bob, I gotta ask you. You are so not in this community. I mean, your toe is not even in the water. You don't even like buying designer toys. I don't know why you're even here. But I gotta ask you.
Other than I'm pushing him in.
Like yeah, it's like the little brother that pushes the other brother into the pool. Like he's on the edge and he's like, So
Well,
Bob, now that you've gotten into this and you hear her story, what what about like this rings in you, or like what about this, like
well,
getting to meet another artist?
I mean, you guys. I mean, years ago, I collected like custom art and custom toys. Obviously, I dealt with the Disney Vinylmations a lot. So, I mean, the one that I look for, especially now with collectibles, is artists or designers that you can relate to. And as Dre said, when you hear Alex's story, Ghosty's story, your story, any story that is realistic, not, oh, well, and we're Funko and we're going to sit up on our ivory tower and, sling out 150,000 of these Olafs or, 2 million Deadpools. The fact that the runs are so low and the stories behind them, that's what drives the community. That's what I love about the community. That's why, and somebody knows my plan for my DIY cards. And, once I can get that rolling, it's to collect art from people that touched me just in the set. Not even a story, but everyone in here has a story that is being told or should be told. That's why I'm glad that I sit here every week and listen to the story. I'm not going to come up with 800 questions. That's Dre's job, and Smitty will pull out reference material for pretty much everyone. But, it's like, back in the day, I dealt with artists that I enjoyed. I dealt with Rastopicon before. I've dealt with Crazy for Vinyls. There was a couple of other artists that I commissioned their work because I enjoyed it. We had a friendship, but more than that, it was the art and the hustle. I mean, Crazy for Vinyls was a teacher, still's a teacher, but just his style I loved, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pieces of his on my TV stand right now.
Nice.
Rast, I've got 4 pieces. So I mean, you collect. Collectors always say collect what you like, but it's really collect who you like. Whether it be whoever, and joining in the Bosom Buddy stuff. I'm getting my feet wet and starting to drown a little bit, but that's I'd rather spend the 50, 80, 100, whatever it is on a 1 of 5 than spend $15 on a 1 of 300,000. It's like, most of us started out with Funko or some other, cheaper toy. But at the end of the day, it's the 1 of 1 or the 1 of 5 that, those are the things that I enjoy collecting.
Yeah, that's really pretty awesome.
It really is. It really is awesome to hear it.
And then just, the community, I feel is why I am here as opposed to working on, like before I was doing, I don't have any of them here, but I was doing spun cotton, which is kind of like a paper mache, but it's more of the crafty side, more of the Etsy side of art, right? It could be more whimsical and girly tailored. And so I felt like in this world, I felt like I was fully embraced, and, you're finding your people, you're finding your tribe, some people have said. And it's just, a lot of the artists in the world, it's like they'll share like tips and tricks, and we work together, and then you meet people in the community, and collectors are just amazing. It's like we all have something in common, even though I'm, one of the females out of hundreds of men or, whatnot, we could still find stuff that we, like you said, relate to. And that's what's a trip. And I found more Chicanos in this scene than I did in the girl scene. And it's like, those were all females, but I didn't quite connect with them the way that I do here. So that's kind of been a little bit of a different pace too. So that's, I just felt like family. That's really what it's been like.
It really is. It's like, I remember Alex said, like, welcome to the family. And I didn't think about that when I first got, when Bob and I first jumped into it. We were kind of like, okay, this is Smitty. We were both like, this is Smitty's thing.
This is Smitty's family, not mine.
Yeah, we're not going to be a part of it. We'll just kind of be like those weird cousins. Like, everybody's like, oh, that's his cousin.
No, that's how it was. Because, I mean, we started basically the Click Talk. So this wasn't even about toys and streaming and collectors and all of that. It was just four friends that had met through YouTube and Funko originally, just hanging out, shooting the shit, and messing around. And we all have our own interests. And I was the guy, I mean, like we said, we had all started out in Funko and then went, in different directions. And I was gravitating towards the custom toy stuff and was, getting into it because of Booze and Buddies and stuff and just building up, knowledge of, different artists and trying to get, oh yeah, I really like this person because of this piece and that piece. Mm-hmm. And I was telling, and I would show off, hey, oh yeah, I just got this from Fett. Oh, I just got this from Alex. Oh, I just got,
They're both nodding,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they had to hear me like, oh, I got the blank from Ghosty, on Friday. And I've already sent it off to Priscilla to customize. And, they had to hear about me waiting for it. And I was showing pictures off to them when you sent me updates.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
she
they
showed
would
us
get
the
them
pictures.
and they're like, get out. I mean,
Well,
they were,
I mean, for
but
me,
I was like bragging about it because I was so excited that I was finally getting like a 1 of 1 from you.
Yeah.
but like with me, I'm the hard sell. But I'm also the one who's protecting what little money I have left after buying every other collectible I buy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the community that brings you into the picture. But it's going to Booze and Buddies and watching the different drops every week to tend to figure out, okay, I want to buy one from him, her, him, them, all of them. Just send them my
Right.
way. I don't know
Yeah.
how to pay for it, but just send it to me.
Right. And it's like just the fact that you're part of the community. Like Smitty, like he said, Smitty and I would be talking all the time, but he didn't have a bunch of my pieces because I could barely produce what I was producing. I was so slow. I was like, man. And so it's like you're making all these friendships and like you said, I think that makes it even more rewarding, Bob, when you actually have that one piece, it's like, oh man, I made it to his collection, because it's like, I'll see some collections. It's like, wow, that would be so dope to have a piece in there. And then when it happens, it's like, wow, so from the artist standpoint, it's always like, how do you say it? Like, I'm always honored whenever I find out one of my pieces is going to be amongst some of these amazing collections. It's just every time, and I'm always saying it, but sorry, I'm sappy. I'm always like, thank you guys, because it really means a lot.
No, that's not sappy. It does, but it means a lot to us too, because it's like, okay, look, you could put a dollar value on time, but you can't put you can put a dollar value to the art, but you can't put a dollar value to the sentiment.
Yeah,
like the actual sentimentality, you can't put that dollar value to. Like, I know that just because when I do this show, we don't get paid to do it. We do it for fun. And we do it because we make new friendships, and we make new connections. We hopefully put out in the universe enough positive energy that people are like, man, shit, I want to go now. I'm going to go to Priscilla's website and I'm going to go look to buy some stuff. And because like her story now resonates with me, or even that one person, male or female or other, that decides to come in and watch this show and is like heard your story and it resonates with them. That's, to me, I'm a semi-retired teacher now, and I my rule of thumb was, if I can get one kid to turn around and say, and I've had it happen already, that Mr. Saunders was the guy for me. Then I did my job.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like, and of course, at the most random, a Chick-fil-A drive-through is where I found where that inspiration hit me. I was taking my nephew. We're at Chick-fil-A. I was getting him breakfast, and one of my students just looked at me, and he was like, he yelled to his manager in the back. He says, "This is my teacher who helped make me graduate." And I was like,
"Oh my God,
why are you trying to make me cry?" But that to me is why I did and still do what I do. It's that inspiration, because I had that teacher for me, and I always wanted to be that teacher for somebody else, and I felt like that's the person we are, like, if you can do that, like if my daughters could watch the show and they turn around and they're like, man, Priscilla's cool, and like, I'm gonna start following her on Instagram, or hey, I'm gonna like, hey dad, could you get another piece of hers? Yeah, let's, no doubt. Like,
well, just inspiring them. Yeah, just inspiring them
just
alone.
That
like,
basic,
I have girls.
Just that basic idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's boom.
Like, I'm instilling the same thing. It's like, for me to have girls, I want them to also feel like they can do whatever it is. They're capable of it as long as they work towards it. It doesn't mean, that they're going to master it right away and that they're going to be the best right away. But no, you just keep pushing until you do get to that level. And I feel like that would be one of my main messages is as a female, I'm not, how do you say, it doesn't discourage me. Whatever it is that I want to put my mind to, I'm going to do it because I'm putting my mind to it. Doesn't matter if I'm Latina or not. It doesn't matter if I'm male or female, right? None of that plays a role into what I'm trying to do. At the end of the day, you just keep pushing forward, keep like putting your all into it, and it'll get there. That's kind of
100.
Yeah.
My wife is the inspiration to my daughters because like she's working on her third master's.
nice.
And this lady she busts her ass for our whole family.
Yeah.
And to me, like she's an inspiration, and I always tell her, she's like, man, I'm tired, and I'm like, babe, look at our girls, look at them when they get older, they look at you and they can say, my mom busted her ass
Yeah.
and did this. Like, look at what she's been through
Yeah.
to do what she's done for us. Like that to me, like my mom, may she rest in peace. That's what my mom was for me. She worked crazy hours. She busted her ass. She was a single parent, you know, and she came around, and I look at that as to what I could do for my kids.
Exactly.
You know, let me work hard. Let me carry the burden. You know, and I guess partially that's a little bit of a Latino male thing. You know, like I'm like that guy that's like, nah, let it sit on my shoulders and my chest. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, and then I look to my wife, and I'm just like, when I need help, she's just like she's that foundation. She's like, I got you. We'll figure it out. And I'm like, that to me means the world to me.
Yeah.
And I think that when we show that inspiration to others, you know, like that's the big step. Like I want to tell you now, and I've been talking about this, and this is going to happen. At the halfway point of this year, which is probably around my birthday, I'm going to get a frame, and I'm going to have every single artist that has come on the show send me a DIY card. I'm going to frame it, put the card in the middle, and then I'm going to put their name and their date that they came on the show. And at the end of the year, every artist that has come on, I'm going to have it framed. So their art is going to be permanently art in my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt like that was something that I wanted you guys to know.
Yeah.
Because that's how important it was to me. Like, I don't need a YouTube button. I want that card. That's the card. That shows me that when Priscilla was on, I can remember the conversation and the smile. Hey,
yeah.
I remember when Alex was on, when Fett was on, when Red Guardian was on, you know, when Fixed Temple was on. I want to have a card for every single person.
You mean something like this? Oh.
Oh, no. See, you could
we
can
can't
flex.
see without the black light. Where's the black light?
Exactly. Oh no, now he's gonna break out. See?
Actually, I do have it right.
It's too bright.
Yeah. Oh, you're special.
I love it.
Don't worry. I'm gonna talk to Priscilla off camera and have her work with me, and we'll get something. So that will be happening, folks. I will be talking to you. Off.
I mean, the creatives have given a lot. I mean, there's over 50 artists. I mean, that's opened up a lot of doors for a lot of artists. But I mean, you just coming into custom toys and in 2019, I mean, you've made a real name for yourself very quickly.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, so I mean, yeah, you wanted in, you got in, and you've made that name and reputation for yourself. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've seen, you know, I just showed off the DIY card, you know, who's inspired by this guy.
Yes.
But I mean, this was part of basically a custom show for a brand new platform. You know, and you know,
and that was so intimidating. This guy, it came in 2 parts. The head was almost the same size as the body, and I had to make it my own. So it was like, okay, the horns were down, the whole sculpt was completely different. So, and I rolled with it. Oh, that guy was so much fun. I loved working on him.
So you got some awesome pieces, definitely.
Thank you.
I mean, so it's, I mean, but yeah, I mean, for your daughters, I mean, that's got to be an inspiration that, you know, hey, I just started getting in, and you've already got, I mean, a big following, big rep, you know, well established. I mean, you know, guys are coming to you to have you be in like that kind of a custom release show, and you know, so I mean, that's got to be satisfying as an artist.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm still asking if there's an event that I want to be part of. So it's not like I feel like I want to still keep growing and still keep trying new techniques. And so there's never going to be anything that I'll be like, oh no, I won't be part of that. I'm always going to want to, and so it's exciting that they want to have my work in the event as well. So yeah, the whole journey is just amazing. It is, because
definitely is.
Yeah, it's like now I've got to think about 3D printing myself and the next phase of, what direction I'm going to go with for everything. So it's just, it moves really fast. And I'm definitely very grateful for the whole thing, for discovering it and meeting people and all of it. It's just been amazing.
I don't know if you can see the comments. Yes, he's messing with me.
Oh, what did she say?
I like, why you sound so nervous?
Yesy. I can't see the comments.
Déjalo.
So sorry, I'm not ignoring anybody. Déjalo.
No, I know. Yeah, the poor guy. Nah, yeah.
Because Yesy will mess with me every chance she gets. Because
of course, that's what, I love it. It's like the little sister. It's such a great thing.
Hi, Yesy.
Exactly. Guys, do not. I have a comment from a Jorge Bell. He says my favorite toy is an 8.7 black gold Dexter. What's yours? Now I don't know if that question was directed to us or to you, Priscilla. So I'm gonna assume that you have a favorite piece that you purchased that's like not your own. That's your favorite.
I have.
Hey, Red.
Few. I'm trying to.
Hey, Red.
I'm trying to think. That's a tough one. I have to think about that because I think my primary collection would be clowns. And I'm trying to think. I have a few that are solid black. No, you don't like clowns? I missed it. You want me to show you my clown collection? You want to go get it?
Oh, no me gustan los payasos.
Me encantan los payasos. Yeah, my whole collection is, I could see them from here.
Now here, wait, I won't lie. There's one. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna go into a little bit of deviation. Mm-hmm. There is one guy I like. His name is Psycho Clown. Mm-hmm. He is a luchador from AAA in Mexico. He's the only clown, and because he looks like he's a wrestler, and that's the only reason I like him. And his clown makeup is more like a mask, so I can deal with it.
Okay,
but we know.
Do they make any fan art of him or anything? Oh.
No, I have no fan art. I would love to. I wanted to go. If I could ever get the chance to go to Mexico, I would love to go see like a lucha libre, like actual in the ring, like in Mexico City.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I clowns. I like the Joker. That's as far as I will say. I like the Joker, and I can tolerate Pennywise, even though Pennywise scares. And yes, no, Red. It's not that I don't like you. I like you, Red. I'm just saying that, I know, if I were to commission you for a piece, it would be of a Joker or like a luchador. Look at Yessie. Now she's messing with me.
That's what
she's like, yo.
Dre.
She's like, yo.
I mean,
Dre. He said
Dre,
he only loves Bob.
You literally pulled your pants and pooped on his whole shtick. I wouldn't do nothing for you if I was Red. I wouldn't do nothing.
So they're trying to say, just send it to him. Don't send it to me. It's okay. No, but honestly, there is a story behind it. Alex has heard the story. I'll go quickly into it. My parents put my whole room as I was like a 5 or 6 year old, and they put clowns all over my room, and it freaked me that. Yeah, you were there. Yes, you heard the story. I got completely freaked out when I came home, and I couldn't sleep. I ended up sleeping in the living room on the couch because I felt like everything was staring at me in my room. Like I had a clown lamp, I had clown wallpaper. I don't know why my mom and my dad thought that was okay. And the next day while I was at school, they tore the entire room apart, and I come back home. It was Spider-Man and Superman and Batman. And ever since, I have not lost anything. I love that stuff. So are my kids scared of clowns? I don't think so. I know my son isn't, and I know Lana, I don't think is either, but Rory hasn't shown anything, but she hasn't seen clowns. So I like the Joker, which of course I really like Batman. Joker's my favorite villain, but that's about as far as my love for clowns goes. Now I'm not saying I can't appreciate artwork. and I do like Psycho Clown because he's a luchador. So on the flip side of it, I understand and respect the idea of clowns. I just don't, you know, and I know culturally every culture has some sort of version of like the payaso that works. So Red, if you can convince me, I'll put it this way, Red, convince me to change and show me something, like make something small, and I will do it, because I will probably convert. I just know, me personally, I it's hard for me to want to convert. I can't see it. Ooh, that's dope. That is dope.
I thought I had
Well, that's a mini of Red's.
His tech.
Yeah.
Tech.
See a tech,
but
bang!
I love the grime. The grime of New York. So it's the scuffed up, dirty version of his clown tech.
That was dope.
But
have you seen his clown tech?
No,
that's not as clowny.
No, that looks dope. I love. I mean, I'm from the Bronx, man. I grew up like in Westchester County, upstate New York, and I lived in the Bronx, so I know the hood life. Like, I knew where my grandma was from the projects. I had 2 aunts that lived in the projects. You know, I know what that's like. So I understand the grime of New York. Like, I could vibe with that. Like a straight up like killer clown from outer space clown, that would probably make me unsettled and not sleep in my house. If it was looking at me, you know, I'd have to like put it in a bookshelf, like hidden away,
facing away.
Yeah, like you'd have to like face the other way, like behind a book, and you know, it's like it's funny. I love Spider-Man, but I'm scared of spiders. I have arachnophobia, but I love Spider-Man.
Well, there are other ways you can support Red. He has other characters other than the clown.
Oh, I know. That's why I think
you must buy a clown.
Although, Bob, I think we need to do my comment.
Oh yeah, I can see this in the Oh God.
Oh no, that's supposed to be
and if
Big
you
Dog.
not follow our
Big
IG,
Dog. That should be Big Dog Dave's.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. This is what your friend sends you on Instagram. That's how much my brothers love me. I love them too, if you didn't know. And he said, of course, it's a Pennywise, a creepy Tim Curry Pennywise.
Well, no, there's about 6 of them in there. You can scroll up a little bit. You'll find
no, I'm good. I just looked at I saw what I had to see, and I closed the window.
So you said you wanted to see my collection, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Gracias.
My clown collection?
No.
Show the clown.
Yes, Priscilla, I would love to see your clown collection.
Man, I'm hungry. I want to go. I want to just leave. Y'all can sit here. I'll be back. Y'all can message me.
Can we have?
I love dogs.
A view of your collection, please.
Oh no, Red.
Actually,
I
have
dogs.
one piece that I could show you. I'll go grab it. It has not been painted yet, so it doesn't technically look like a clown. And I think this is a clown you might be okay with.
Oh, I love it. Check it out.
Trust me? Yeah?
See, yeah.
Very back.
Claro. Yo, Red, I love dogs. Sadly, my wife, my daughter, my daughters are both.
You can't dig out of this now.
Oh no, no, Red says he's playing with me. I got you, Red. I got you.
I know. No, Red's awesome.
Okay.
And Red's coming on the show too.
Oh, Red was another one that it took me a long time before I could find or get a hold of one of his pieces too.
Oh yeah, his stuff.
I can't wait to get him on because he's gonna be funny. If he's making us laugh like this already, I'm looking forward to this.
Let's see, that's the part about, like, Bob, you're saying you're just getting into like the Booze and Buddies scene and stuff, and that's cool. And people are already recognizing your name in
I'm awesome.
in the chats, in the chat box and stuff. No, it's great because
Dre's
that's how it is.
host.
I mean,
Smitty's the brains, but I'm the person. I'm the real person.
You're the face. You're the face. You're the face, bro. Listen.
But
all I do is organize
behind
this.
it. I had to shave mine down a little bit, but it's the throwback.
That's how that's how you start. That relationship with the artists and stuff. I mean, I was following Red on his streams and stuff, and when Priscilla and Red were on, I mean, those are great. Especially when Yessie gets on there too. The three of them go. I mean, it's just the three of them go back and forth like nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. And then if you get arting me, it's a little different because I get into the zone. And arting is like my coping mechanism. Sometimes if I'm stressed out, arting will calm me and soothe me. So then you'll get like the Bob Ross Priscilla, where I'm super calm and I'm painting.
Happy little accident.
So it's like
Happy little accident. That's what my
yes.
wife says all the time. Whenever we talk about Bob Ross, she's like, happy little accident.
Mm-hmm. We're birthday
And I
twins
can't
too,
draw.
by the way. I have the same birthday as him. Okay, listo? You listo?
See, listos.
Okay, look at this. This is sculpted. I want to say, my lights.
It looks like Krusty.
It is. It's a blank.
Okay, Krusty. I like Krusty because he's
See,
not really.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I
Krusty,
knew it.
Krusty's awesome.
So this was
yeah.
this was sculpted by an artist from Argentina, I believe. Oh. I want to say either there or Colombia. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. But
that looks dope.
Right? And so I'm excited to paint this guy. This guy's the details. I wanted to show you, but I don't know if you could see him. Let me see if I can.
I like seeing him smoke the stove. I mean, it's like they got him perfect. Like that's like when he was like sitting in his little spot, like just like bam, they got it. It looks great.
Yeah, the detail, it's insane.
That is really, really good
to work on this guy.
I love his laugh too from the cartoon from The Simpsons. I can't like.
Like then that's a clown. See?
Oh, I love The Simpsons. So I grew up with The Simpsons. So Krusty the Clown was like, and Sideshow Bob. Who doesn't love Sideshow Bob?
I know.
I love Frasier. So it was like that was a give or take that I was gonna love that whole concept of Sideshow Bob. Being a part of the Frasier show. So I was like, yeah, that's. Mm-hmm. So there's some redeeming qualities to them. Just childhood trauma.
Red's gonna reactivate all of that.
Yeah,
he's gonna come on with face paint.
He'll come on the show. He'll have like a whole thing like. I'll be like, oh, just like no, just
I wasn't by a mask.
I'll bird box it.
I'll just
bird box it.
All of you guys, bird box.
I'll just bird box the whole show. I'll be like, guys, it's okay. I'll have my wife step in here. Just click on.
I have no idea what you're.
Oh, see?
Oh no, is that his intestines going out of his mouth?
No, that's his tongue. His intestines.
Oh, that's even crazier. That's his
He's
tongue?
eating his own intestines.
Oh God.
Yeah.
There's
nothing wrong with
now, see clowns. That one. Okay, no, Bob, no. That one looks like something out of not Bendy, Cuphead. That looks like if you play the game Cuphead. That game's awesome. It has like that Cuphead style, like very cartoony, like Looney Tunesy. Yeah, it has like a Looney Tuning. That's definitely cool.
I think you should, Red.
Yeah, I thought it would try and scare him like that.
What did he say? I missed it.
God.
I'm just
saying. I never try to purposely
like that,
scare you.
Nah. I'm gonna send Dre a box, and inside is just me one red balloon on a little weight. That way, when he opens the box, a little balloon just comes popping out.
No, one of my boys that lives here in Charlotte with me, he actually was one of my old roommates. His joke was on my birthday, they were gonna sneak into my room and put clowns all over my room.
Oh my
in the house and like see how. So I was at work and he's like, "Well, I'm off from work today." He's like, "I'm gonna come in your room. I'm gonna put all the shit up, and then you're gonna walk in your room and be like, ha." And I was like, "Oh God, thank God they didn't do that." But then he did do it because like when I moved out, he had a clown picture like on my bed. So like when I'm moving out, I like lifted my blanket and I see a creepy ass clown picture. I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like "Motherfucker." I was like,
"Oh my God."
Oh, I chased adult. Hell yeah. Otherwise, you should talk to some of the people that do the stuff for Halloween Horror Nights because I think their clowns look not as scary. And if you really are I'm into horror, so like if you can turn that dial up a notch, man, make that look dope. That'd be something cool to see. So, I guess does anybody have any questions for her? Because I mean, we have talked her ear off, and I could keep talking to her all night. So, is there anybody that's in the chat that wants to ask a question? of the lovely Priscilla. I'm gonna give it a secundo. While we're waiting, actually, we know we can find you on Instagram at Priscilla's Arte. So if you guys are looking for her on IG, we know that you are doing the Sunday brunch with Yessie, and that's also on IG. Is that sponsored on Yessie's IG or on your IG? Like, who does the IG
both.
to start that? On both of them? Okay.
So if you subscribe to either of them, yep. If you're subscribed or follow them, it'll give you the notification when they're going live.
Yeah.
Dirty D just jumped in and said, "Just keep killing it, girl." And I agree with you 110%. She is killing it. And they just said, Priscilla, congrats on the Prince from Red Guardian.
Oh, thank you.
So you were doing
I
prints
still
too?
have 8 prints left. If anybody's interested, I've got one. I got everything ready just in case I needed to show it. They're going to be framed. So I worked on this concept with Paparazzi, another makeup artist, and we both came up with this for for Autism Awareness Month. Guys, I can't figure out my camera.
That's awesome.
There we go. So we both did a makeup look. Sorry, it's going crooked on me. Okay. For Autism Awareness Month, we both put together the look, and the proceeds that we raised are going to go towards Autism Speaks. And so the concept was breaking free. And so you could see, I don't know if you could see the detail. Hold on, I'm backwards. Over here. So you could see that there's a trapped inner child, and then her lips. If I could figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah. No. I love it.
And then the same thing with me having my kind of like my voice is, oh, there we go. Let's see if I can. Is that better?
That is amazing. That is
so I've only got 8 of these left in the shop. They're going to come framed. And you could see signed as well.
Folks, if you really want to sponsor a good cause, please do that, because look at the detailing on this. I mean, this is fantastic, and it's for a good cause. I mean, I know several people that are on the spectrum for autism, and I think it's something that's very awesome to donate to. I think this piece speaks volumes on the actual subject matter, as well as it just is a beautiful piece to look at. Wow.
Yeah. So
that is.
Thank you.
Freaking tastic.
Yeah, we had a blast working on this, and it's like we didn't reveal the looks until afterwards, and so just the fact that our colors were so cohesive and everything, and the brightness, it was just a really fun project to work on. So Priscilla'sArte.com is the website. I don't know if you already said that, all right? Oh, did you freeze on me, Dre?
Looks like you did. But yeah, I mean, and if you're following her on IG, there's a link in her IG profile.
Yes. So 8 of those left. We had 25 printed and framed.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I think it's beautiful. So again, folks, make sure to check her out. She does show up on Booze and Buddies. She's in there. She's in the chat box. Always say hi. And, she is extremely personable. Please feel free to reach out to her. She is a great conversationalist. I've just in the brief 2 conversations we had, and then in this, just before we even came on the air and backstage, her and I had a great conversation, just talking about family and kids. She's got a good heart, good head on her shoulders, a definite pillar in the community. I don't bullshit anybody. Y'all know I say it from the heart. I think she is going to be another lifelong friend I have made in this community. And I want you guys to support her in any which way. And if anything she has said has inspired you, just shoot her a message like, hey, dude, I'm doing a toy, or I drew this and it came out. That stuff makes artists' days. Alex has said that to me countless times, that sometimes a person will just reach out to them and say that all it takes is that little thing to reignite their passion. Because you don't know, they're people too, folks. We're all regular people with regular jobs. It does not hurt for her to hear a positive comment like saying, man, she could have a crap day, And I know as a parent, we get our kids driving us crazy. She had a bad day at the salon. You know, the dog's driving her nuts. And it just takes that one comment from somebody to be like, hey, man, I saw you on Toy Chats, or I saw your artwork on IG and I really love it. You know, you don't have to spend a penny. Take 10 seconds to write a comment. And it always makes them feel better.
I know. I love seeing, especially like when I'll hear from little female
artists.
I
don't make her cry.
Like little, little ladies. I'll get art, fan art. Some of the girls will work on stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So definitely, I agree. It's always inspiring to see what little artists, and adults too. I'll get adults sharing their artwork. It's always, it's awesome to hear how I've helped them, reignite their passion for stuff, or just to do it. Just do it, guys. Try it.
Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Just
do it.
And that's all you gotta do sometimes, folks, is just literally get out there and just put yourself out there. It never hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we have reached that time in the night where we're going to be shutting the dungeon down. We are going to let this beautiful lady go on with her beautiful day that she's got going out in California. I know that the sun's still up here, but I'm going to finish eating some dinner. I'm going to relax with the kids. She's going to relax and have a good time. As always, my friends, from Bob, myself, Smitty, and the beautiful Priscilla, stay geeky, y'all. Peace.
Bye, guys.